Thurian mainland from Atlantis, Lemuria, and the Pictish Isles, as if from unsinkable pirate ships. The times call for blood and iron, but Thurian blood is thinned, and their iron has corroded. Where the dominant civilization of the Hyborian Age will be so virile that contact with it virtually snatched out of the wallow of savagery such tribes as it touched, the seven empires of the pre-cataclysmic dodder and totter. This is a world less mapped than Conan's, and more lapped by mystery and mysticism at its edges. Ice caves in the far north, reptile-reeking jungles in the far south. To the west, the isles beyond the sunset. To the east, the river Stegus and World's End. We learn that Varulian trickery is a byword, and that Thurania is the foal of Farsoon. But what Howard is really telling in the Kull stories is time. Untold centuries, millennia, and eons of the stuff are told, and told tellingly as we sense history shading back into prehistory. Kings dimming into chiefs, palaces into caves, nations into tribes, laws into taboos. The whole point to Thurian civilization is its stupefying continuity and longevity. At the very dawn of Pictish or Atlantean awareness, dusk had already draped the seven empires. Their relative opacity or obscurity, the fact that they are not readily identifiable as stand-ins or surrogate states as are Stygia for Egypt, Zingara for Spain, and Turan for the Ottoman Empire in the Conan series, draws us deeper into dreamland. Kull's project of rejuvenating Valusia is not so much foredoomed as afterdoomed by The Hyborian Age, an essay that Howard did not write until 1932, and it is important to keep in mind that the pre-cataclysmic age is unaware of being the pre-cataclysmic age, is unaware that the cataclysm is poised overhead throughout the series, a sword of Damocles forged from water and wind, lava and tremors. Or is it? Signs and portents like the death by drowning of the outlaw tribe of Tiger Valley, recalled by the Atlantean characters, or the casual reference to the flood in Swords of the Purple Kingdom, are present. The Lake King has it almost right when he sees in Kull the first wave of the rising tide of savagery which shall overwhelm the world. And Kull himself asserts, "Someday the sea will flow over these hills." As early as Exile, long before Tuzun Thun's mirror reflects a future in which the restless green waves roar for many a fathom above the eternal hills of Atlantis, and strange savages roam the elder lands. Howard was well aware that a writer who avails himself of the name Atlantis gives away his ending, which is why he traveled back ages and ages in advance of that ending, the symbol of imperial overreach and the human jostling of the divine since Plato, to a joltingly flint-tipped and cave-sheltering beginning. And yes, the Atlantis of the Kull series is fiendishly difficult to reconcile with that of Howard's novellas, Skullface and The Moon of Skulls. So perhaps we should mutter something about the hobgoblin of little minds and leave off trying. At the start of his Conan years, Howard looked upon his Kull years not as a false start, but a foundation. He built the Phoenix on the Sword from "By this axe I rule," unsold and therefore for practical purposes untold, and built the pre-cataclysmic age into the backstory of the Hyborian Age, and the eyewitness account of Yag-Kosha, the long-lived, far-sighted being of the Tower of the Elephant. When Howard wrote of the Thurians in 1932 that Picts, Atlanteans, and Lemurians were their generals, their statesmen, often their kings, he had long since created in Kelkor just such a general, in Kanu just such a statesman, and in Kull just such a king. That same opening to the Hyborian Age adds to our knowledge by citing the wars between Valusia and Comoria, a realm nowhere mentioned in the actual Kull stories, as an implicit prelude to the conquests by which the Atlanteans founded a kingdom on the mainland. And, as Yag-Kosha tells